Okay. On the one hand, the scientists are struggling to communicate what they are doing. Our public is not understanding what they are telling. On the other hand, this can also happen. You explain something to your journalist today, but tomorrow when it appears in the paper, you are amused. What about what is that I have said yesterday? You talked about Chandrayaan, he wrote about Mangalyaan. That is what is going to happen in few cases. Next. So, in other words, you will complain that my words came out fine and they were processed incorrectly by your brain. That is what we talk about journalists, and we blame them. So it is very much required that we should acquire the skill of communication to the public. It is better that scientists themselves communicate science to the public. Next. So what is science? Everybody knows about it. It's systematic study of all physical and biological processes that are happening around with the intellectual and experimental input that we are going to do. And systematic knowledge is also considered as science. Okay, next. So what is the aim of some science communication at the end of the day? It is about societal improvement. At the end, that is what is aimed at. Next. So let us go one by one about kinds of science that we are having today in India. We have modern science, which is based on the experimentation or whatever observation, hypothesis, experimentation, data gathering and data analysis and interpretation. This is the Western method of doing science, which is called as modern science. Okay. And it uses what is known as Aristotelian logic. There is a logic behind the modern science. So it uses that, and whatever we are seeing today, agriculture science, medical science, this all comes under modern science. Next. And we have in India, unlike Western countries, we have traditional knowledge system also side by side. This is about experiential knowledge that our forefathers and our earlier people gathered through their experience. They have not done any experimentation, but by continuously interacting with the system, they have gathered this. For example, cooking knowledge or medicinal plant knowledge, like that, or folk medicines or IT case, whatever you call, that comes under traditional knowledge system. Next. And you have another system of knowledge in India, that is Shastras. We call it as Shastras as opposed to science. We have Ayurveda, we have Vedas, Upanishads, Khagola Shastra, Vaimanika Shastra, Gaja Shastra, Ashwa Shastra, so many Shastras. These are acquired through what are known as Pramanas, as opposed to logic in modern science, which uses Aristotelian logic, as I told earlier. Our Shastras used 6 Pramanas. That is pramana of pratyaksha pramana or anumana pramana, upamana pramana, or absence of evidence, or arthapati. Arthapati means postulates, or absence, shabda pramana, which is you just believe that whatever the experts say in that field. So these are the pramanas we used to deploy for generating the knowledge, and they are codified in terms of Shastras. So these are the 3 systems of science which are occurring in India. So you don't have to only, whenever science is coined, you don't have to refer it to only modern science. Both the traditional knowledge system and Shastras are science as per our definition. Next. So if you are going to be a science writer, some of you may be interested, you have to just first you have to decide for yourself which are the sciences that you are going to cover for communication: biological sciences or physical sciences, chemical sciences or traditional knowledge system, social sciences or Shastras in India. Next. So what to write? Whenever you talk about science communication, you can talk about great new idea. This is very, very important. See, in communication, science communication, what might be interesting to the public, that you have to identify first. This is the most difficult task which I have been facing all this year. Which idea I should write about? Next. And you can also talk about new technology to public. Next. You can talk about local knowledge. You can talk about the effects of technology, not only technology itself. You can talk about effects of technology, and also you can also cover debates around the technology. Next. What are the media that you can choose for your science communication? One is newspapers, next. And radio, of course, next. Blogs, your own blogs, and TV, everybody knows about it. WhatsApp, Facebook, podcast, and YouTube. Just hold on. So your write-up should be applicable, or it should be in line with the communication media that you are going to do. For example, for papers, its writing is different. For TV media, it is scripting is very essential for all of them, but the way in which it is done is different. For TV media, you need to have visuals, more of visuals. For radio, imaginative things, because people are going to listen. Facebook and WhatsApp, it should be as short as possible, because people are scrolling through. They will not go through your write-up if it is very long. So podcast and also YouTube and blogs as well. Blog, personalized way of communicating. Next. So what are the sources of information? Everybody knows about it. Googling is the best way of doing things nowadays. And of course, we have scientists around us who can be the source of information. Next. Books. Next. Journals, scientific journals, and also newspapers. And at the end, even the common man on the street could be a source of information. He will be. So if you continuously interact with them, they'll be telling many things in between, and you can choose those ideas which are worth publishing and worth communicating. Next. So you have to do homework. For that, you can go for Google Alerts, or there is a software called Pocket, which is you can save the website content and read it later. You have to develop files and folders for a particular topic that you want to communicate. Of course, bookmark, and you have to schedule your appointment with the resource persons. Next. So let us go through quickly the types of articles that you can write to media. This is called as news kind of things, wherein we are going to highlight about who, why, where, what, when, and how. And it is written in an inverted pyramid, this one shape, meaning you are going to write what is important in the first, and you are going to write what is very less importance at the end. See, teachers facilitated, that is given at the end, and it is for immediate reading. So it will not have any opinion or anything. It is just creating the news about the science. Next. Letters to the editor. You can pick up a very important aspect and write it as a letter to the editor. Very short and very crisp, very effective. Next. And this is about article, writing an article. You have visited, let us say, Jaggery Park in Mandya, and you have spoken to people over there, and you write about it. It's a bit of sort of a lengthy kind of explanation what is happening over there, but you are not taking anybody's opinion, or farmer's opinion, or consumer opinion, anything. You are just going to write in a very readable manner what is happening over there. Next. That is, and the next one is through interviews. You are going to present your whatever the communication in the form of an interview, questions and answers. See, here is an interview that was done for, there is a called CAPE Music, which is for creative arts for processing emotions. Ramya Mohan is exponent of that particular CAPE Music from London. She is from Bangalore, actually. Okay. So you can also present in terms of interviews, not only writing an article. Next. And the next comes the most important one, which is being published in magazines and monthlies, weeklies and monthlies like Taranga, Aditya Patrika, or Sudha, or whatever, week, where it is called as feature article. Features means, next one. See, you are going to give 360-degree view of the issue that you are covering. You are going to take the resource person's view. You are going to take the other person's view also, who is the user, and also scientists, and also whoever all concerned with that issue. You are going to take opinion from all of them and write it in a very lucid manner, very clear manner, including their own sentences. Okay, as if they are saying there. like that. This is called feature, very, very important. It's very effective. Next. And there is another format. What is that? There's a column write-up. See, I am writing 2 columns in 2 monthlies, Adike Patrika and Shamajivi. What you are supposed to do here, you will be given a slot and you will be given all the freedom. Whatever you want to cover, you can cover. And editorial team is not responsible for what you are going to write. So you are going to write what is very important for the public. That is another way of communicating science through column. Next. Okay. While writing, what we have to take care, because I made it as a very basic kind of thing. While writing, what we should consider? We should consider audience for whom you are writing, whether you are writing to the scientists of DCR or Putturians. If you are writing for Putturians, publish it in Sudhi Bidugade. That is the best way. So another one is slant. Slant means angle. The angle of writing. You are talking about cashew. You don't have to tell that cashew is a very important crop. It is grown in so many countries. Don't worry about that. You can communicate only the important aspect. Let us say you are talking about variety, Netra Ganga or Netra Jumbo. We talk about only that. Slant is very, very important. Angle of writing is very important. Next. Accuracy of scientific facts is very, very important because you need to ascertain with the experts. You should not write without checking by the experts. Next. You understood what is accuracy now? So this is what is very, very important, because recently I wrote an article on Arakanet websites. I sent it to 2 scientists of mine in the CPCRI Vitla, because I wanted to check the accuracy of whatever I have written. That is very, very important. Next. Social relevance. Whatever you are writing should be socially relevant. Otherwise, it's of no use. If you are talking about some basic physical, let's say, physics, it is not very relevant to the social, public. So you need to be very careful while writing. Next. It should not be, your article should not be having any agenda. If you are a communist or a leftist or a pro-BJP, Hindu, Muslim, no agenda should be there in your write-up. It's only about facts. Next. It should be attractive. And there should not be any technical jargons. Suppose Siddhana says indel insertions or indel markers, you should not quote that in your write-up, because indel, they will not understand. Even scientists will not understand it if it is not told properly. Right? So you need to avoid technical jargons, backcross or test cross. You cannot go on telling that to public. They will not understand. And you should be in local language. Next. Quotable quotes. When a resource person quotes, you should retain that quotable quotes always in your write-up. Next. Go through this. The beauty of this is that it is only of theoretical importance, and then there is no way it can be any practical use whatsoever. So it should be practically very, very relevant. That is the meaning. Next. And most importantly, timing. See, Chandrayaan is the hot thing now. You can write about Chandrayaan to the public. And if you write it after 1 year, it would have lost its significance, or it would have lost its efficiency or effectiveness. Next. Your article should have both positive and negative aspects. Next. It should also include all debate, whatever you are trying to, if there are debates around that issue, you should also cover that. Next. Humanitarian angle. Manaviya amshagalu. Humanitarian angle should be there for your article. It should be socially relevant. What is the use and how it uplifts the social status. Stress is also very important. This is not about the tension that we are facing today. You are stressing a particular point. That is what I mean. So you are talking about Netra Jumbo being very, very labor friendly and labor saving variety. You should stress that point. You should not go on talking about its features. That is very important. Stress should be important. And you should be in reader's position while writing the article. Suppose you're writing an article. If I were to be in the reader position, what kind of articles I am going to enjoy, that you have to keep it in mind. Then it will solve most of the problems. If you be yourself in a reader's position, and you will come to know what to write. Your article itself, you will not enjoy if you are written in a very different way. Next. See, this is what we do in science. We think it's a miracle. That is what we have done, and it's going to be miracle. It's going to change the world. I think you should be more explicit here in step 2. You should clearly explain what is that miracle that you are going to do in real world. Next one. So let us not get into publish or perish kind of situation. Many of the journalists, they will get into this visual circle of publish or perish. So science communication should not get into that vicious circle. And translational problems. This is another very, very important thing. See, for some White House, somebody translated it as Billy Money. White House in US, somebody translated it as Billy Money. So there is no, translation while you are taking information from some other different language. Be careful. Next one. Comprehensive, it should be complete. Next. Perspective. This is called Yatha Darshana. Yatha Darshana means as it is, where it is. Whatever is the situation, you should clearly depict. You should not put exaggerated thing. You should be non-judgmental. Don't judge. I should not say, when I am communicating about Netra Jumbo variety, I should not say that it is not good. It may not be, maybe or may not be my judgment. I should not put my judgment there. Okay, that is the meaning of it. Next. Supplemental information you give in an article. If you are thinking there is some more information to be given to the public. Next. Exaggerated and doubtful information we have to check twice. Next. This is most important. This is called ripening period in journalism. What is that? When you write an article, keep it for some time. Maybe 3-4 days or 1 week. So that your brain will be thinking on that, you will be thinking on that, and you will come out with better way of putting things. This is happening to all the journalists because they keep revising their introduction, their ending of the story, and all that they'll be doing. This is very, very important. Ripening period also holds good for all scientific articles too. Next. So at the end of the day, if you are writing something, be sure that there is Google Guru. Every person is having mobile now. They will check your information. Whatever you have given is correct or not, they can check it. So you cannot escape. Some or the other people will tell you that what you have written is wrong. In social media, if you post it, you will come to know. Then and there itself, they will tell you what is wrong and what is good. So you need to be very careful in the era of social media. This one. See, this cartoon depicts very well about the effect of science. Along with antimatter and dark matter, we have recently discovered the existence of doesn't matter. So our science communication should not go in that way. It should matter. It should not go in the doesn't matter category. Next. So what is the way of writing? Pen down everything. Whatever you think, whatever you have collected, pen it down. Or put it in a computer in haphazard manner. Just nimage gottiruva mahitiyannella ondu kade kakki bidi. This is the journalism phrase that is used. So put it everything down. Next one. And then analyze where it has to come, how it has to come, then analyze. Next. Title is very, very important. I'm going to show some of the titles. And introduction is very, very important. That will catch the attention of the audience or a reader who is doing. It can be through questions or general to specific, definition, examples, quotations, shocking statement, fact, or a story. You can start an article with all that. I'll show you some examples next. Okay, see this. One of the wonderful and master communicator, director in fact told me I am the master communicator, but I'm not. This is the master communicator, Shri Padreji, Adike Patrika editor. He came here last few days back. He has given one person who is doing jaggery out of sugarcane and selling it to the public. See the title, Solugalannu Solisida Sihi Hanchike Dara. Look at the title, how beautiful it is. That sweet distributor has defeated the defeat. That is the meaning. Look at some of the titles here. Australia Dolondu Kerala, meaning there is a Kerala in Australia. You are curious. What is that Kerala in Australia? You will come to know about that when you read that article. Or Krishikara Kaige Kesarattuva Vidya. See, they are all having ಕೆಸರು ಮೆತ್ತುವ ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅದು ಕೃಷಿಕರಿಗೆ. ಇದು ಕೃಷಿಕರ ಕೈಗೆ ಕೆಸರೆತ್ತುವ ವಿದ್ಯೆ. That is very important. ರುಚಿ ಹಿಡಿಸಿ ತಳಿ ಉಳಿಸಿ. So you give it for a taste and the variety will be conserved. Okay, next. Look at the introduction here. The introduction starts with a quotation from a person who is ready to cook banana stem. This will be useful for ladies who are cooking. And that's what it starts. Grahakara pratikriya tumba chanagide. And it reads like this. And whatever he has said, he has, in quotes, he has put it. That is how you start an article so that reader is interested. Next one. See, this is about a crop cover with the help of a mesh. So he starts with chudidar in a shalu velu gotta. That is a question. It starts with a question. So you are interested. What is this? He's talking about chudidar in a shalu velu, but he's showing the picture of this crop. So you'll be interested to go through that. Next. And I have written about arcade. When I wrote about it, you just see. Karagada ice cream bagge kelidire. Have you heard about ice cream that never melts? See, I could have told these orchids are so important. It is grown in an area of so many acres. That and all I would have told, but nobody will be interested to read that. So I have written that Turkey, they have one ice cream they prepare using the tubers of orchid. That's what I have started. So this is how you get the reader's attention for reading your article. After that, you can put your message. Next one. So sentences, how it should be. Next. They should be indicative. Indicative means you should not tell everything explicitly. You should leave it for imagination of the speaker. Next. No misleading sentences. You should not talk about any variety of cashew giving more than 5 tons per hectare. That is a misleading sentence. So we should, and minimum fillers. We have the habit of filling it up. By the way, and so far, therefore, so many things we use. It should be minimum as possible. Next, local words should be used. Next, novel and very clear, because communication is very important. There is a concept known as tight writing in journalism. What is tight writing? You should not be able to even displace even one sentence here and there. That is the sort of tight writing. This holds good for even papers also. We can make it very tight writing, very, very. And how should be the write-up? Next, small sentences should be there. It should not be too long because people will get bored. No cliches. You should not talk about, bamboo is used, something like bamboo is used from birth to death, something like that. You cannot go on telling for a bamboo article because everybody knows about it. It's a cliched sentence. Retain sayings of the whatever the resource person who has told you. Next. And we should learn, or we should remember that we are trying to express and not trying to impress. Okay, we are trying to express, not trying to impress. It should be objective. We should be very, very objective, because if the resource person is close to you, you don't just write something which is not true. Okay, you should be objective. You should give justice to the words or sentences you are writing. And at the end of the write-up, you should give addresses, email and website, whatever is there, so that people can go through if they are interested. Next. So once you do all these preparation and jot down everything, you need to be critic of your write-up. Again, you have to go through, you have to revise, you have to edit, and continuous improvement is the key before you send it to the press or social media. Very, very important. You need to do this sort of improvement every time. Next. Suppose you talk about Chandrayaan. I'll give you an example. If you want to talk about Chandrayaan, let us say you are talking about technical things. Who are the resource persons? Resource person is the scientist sitting in ISRO. You need to contact them. And you need to contact as many scientists as possible who are involved in, kind of Chandrayaan studies. And you need to understand the words. What is payload? What is lander? What is rover? What is a rocket? Kind of, and what it is going to do. This, whatever they are sending Chandrayaan 3 mission, what it's going to do. All that perspective should be given. then only it is going to be very useful for the public. Otherwise, if you leave out technical details, then it will not be a very good article. Suppose, let us say somebody told that ISRO scientists went to Tirupati for puja. Some people objected on social media. You can talk about that debate in a separate article. You talk about what they are telling, what is the pro and opposite views for this kind of act by the ISRO scientists. That can also be a one article that you can write. Next. Some Harvard professor told about coconut oil. This we keep on hearing. He told about, coconut oil is not good for health. It is bad cholesterol. It leads to heart attack, something like that. We should not simply, just put it in the news media that, we should stop using coconut oil from tomorrow. It is not the way. If you are a serious science communicator, you should talk about coconut oil uses in Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, and all that traditional knowledge, what it says, what the other doctors say about it. So put all things together, give the real perspective. That is the idea. So you cannot simply say somebody has commented like coconut is not good. You cannot just write it in the your science communication, whatever article you are writing. So that is the idea. You need to think about 360 degrees. That is very, very important. Okay, next. Regarding photography and videography, I'm not going to cover much. Next. It should be natural, interesting, subject-oriented, self-explanatory, and effective, human touch. Everything, come back. So these are the points that you need to keep in mind while taking videos. They should be natural as possible, and interesting, subject-oriented. See, we are talking about variety of a cashew that you want to take, but don't go on showing the building of DCR. So where you should concentrate, you should know. So it should be effective, and you should be having human touch, meaning the breeder who has developed that variety should be there, and he should talk about it. That you have to record. That is a kind of, and editing is a must. All of you know about the success story of Kantara. Even earlier, many films have come. I heard that many films on Daivaradhana have come, but they have not become so successful as Kantara became. Because the way of delivery of the message or whatever they have done is a testimony to his efficiency in communicating to the public. It is also a sort of communication to the public through film. Next. These are some of the journals. Vijnana Sangati in Kannada, Bala Vijnana Hasiruvasi, which has stopped, unfortunately. It was a very good magazine for environmental issues. Kanana, this is a very good magazine. Kanana is coming. And Adike Patrike, of course, Shamajivi Krishi, they are talking about agriculture. I'm a little bit biased towards agriculture because we are agriculture scientists. Next. This is a website of Karnataka State Science and Technology. And they are doing a lot of work with related in relation to scientific programs and for kids and all that. You can visit. And these are all some of the websites that you can visit for resources. Next. And this is Kanaja, just like Kannada Wikipedia. This has got a lot of information regarding IT case in agriculture. Very informative, and it has got science articles also. People can refer. Next. This is one ejnana.com, one techie from Bangalore. Mr. TG Srinidhi is doing this. Very good website for all tech related issues. Next one. And in Kannada, we have a number of people who are writing about science issues. Vishwakannada, Pavanaja.com, Mitra Madhyama, Kagola, Dhitasnon. Next. Linux Ayana, Global Funda, Kadavatere, Indina Vijnana, NetNota, Tantrajnane. There are so many. Kutuali is another magazine from, Vigyan Prasad. And in Kannada version, it is also very good. Radhakrishna Muvacha, our own St. Philomena College physics professor. Ismaya Plus, Platonic Kannada, Kindra Jogi, Vijnana Gange. So the list goes on. Many people are writing about science in Kannada. And if you come to national level science communication, you have Down to Earth, very, very important and useful magazine for environmental issues. And you have Indian Journal of Science Communication from Vijnan Prasad. And you have Science India from Vijnan Bharati. Next. This is definitely, this is not going to be a very exhaustive list because there could be some other magazines as well. Because what I have done is a modest effort to compile all the issues that are surrounding science communication. But science communication is a very vast area. There are a lot of things to be told, discussed, and analyzed, and it may need a week's workshop if you are really want to do serious science communication. See, Science Reporter, Dream 2017 and Teacher Plus. Sroth is a science magazine from Madhya Pradesh. Biospectrum, Electronics for you. Next, we have Data Quest, PC Quest for computer science related things. Sanctuary Asia for environmental and wildlife issues. Next, vigyanprasar.gov.in. Vigyan Prasar, this is a very important website for resources. Next, Indian Science Communication Society. This is also very, very important. Next, vijnanbharati.org. This talks about, this gives information about our ancient science issues. And Science India is a magazine from Vijnan Bharati. Next. And at the global level, there are, I'm not talking about science journals. I'm talking about science communication journals to the public. New Scientist, you have Scientific American, National Geographic, American Scientist, and National Geographic Kids. These are all very good magazines that talk about important science. This is Eureka Alert from American Academy for Advancement of Science. This has got very important information regarding science that is going on in US. You can refer to this website. Next, sciencenews.org. This is again from US. Very good source of information. Next, this is Science Development Network from UK. It has got very good scientific news from Europe. Next, and this is a website, SciJourno from Australia, which has got very good sort of resources for science communication. You can refer to that. Next, World Federation of Science Journalists. This is again from Science Development Network in UK. This has got very useful courses for science communication. Next, Scicatch.wordpress.com from US. Again, a lot of good information regarding science communication. If you want to really pursue science communication as a hobby, you can refer to this website. Next, Neyman Reports. This is from US again, and this is also very good, and it talks about books that every science communicator or science writer should read. Very good list of books. Open Notebook. This has got resources for science communication. Next, and there are different apps also in the Google Play Store. These are all some of the apps which I can share it later. Science News, Discoveries, Technical Writing, Science and Tech Report. There are so many, but you have to find out on your own which is good for your kind of requirement. Next, these are some of the very good science writers in Kannada. Nagesh Hegde, Rohit Chakratirtha, T.R. Anantramu. The list goes on. There are many, many people who are communicating science through their write-ups. Many of them are scientists as well. In fact, Dr. T.R. Anantramu was a geologist. Nagesh Hegde was a geologist. Rohit Chakratirtha is a mathematics person. T.G. Srinidhi is a techie. Next. And these are science novel writers in Kannada. Dr. Shivram Karant is a Jnanapith awardee, and Purnachandra Tejaswi and Dr. K.N. Ganesh at the right end. Can you identify that person who is in the left corner? It's a great science communicator, great botanist. Yes, BGL Swami. It's a son of D.V. Gundappa. Hasirivannu. He has written Hasiruvannu and Namma Hoteli America. So many books. Very good write-up, very humorous also. And these are all some of the master communicators of science aspects. And these are all some of the stalwarts in science communication. For example, Professor Balram from IIC, he was a director of IIC. Nakul Parashar of Vigyan Prasar, director. Anil Agarwal, who founded Down to Earth magazine, and Sunita Narayan and Pallav Bagla from NDTV, science reporter. These are all very good science communicators. Next. some of the books that you can read: Field Guide for Science Writers and Krishikara Kaige Lekani from our own Shripad Ray sir. I think I have circulated to many here. And there is one more, Patrikege Bariyodu Hege by Vinayaka Kodsara. Next. And of course, I'll just take about another 2 to 3 minutes about mobiles. See, mobile definitely, as it is written over there, it is a life companion. Definitely, you can use it for science communication as well. You can scribble the ideas, take the videos, or record the audios, or whatever you want to do with the mobile, you should do for science communication. Next. And this person put it in airplane mode. These are all some of the techniques that I'm telling about science communication. You put it in airplane mode, so there is no disturbance. Next. Facebook, you can save the particular post and read it later because you are scrolling through every time. So you can also create poll in Facebook and you can get it done, and you can collect a lot of information. See, you can use social media in a very productive manner. It doesn't have to be just scrolling everything. Even WhatsApp also, if the group is good, charts are good, you can export chart and you can keep it for your writing of your science articles. Okay. So there is another problem that we are facing always, sending large files to the publishing agency or whatever. There are websites which can help for sending larger files, 300 MB to 30 GB. Next. These are all some of the websites: usendit.com, transferpccloud.com, vtransfer.com, dropsend.com, filemail.com. These are all important websites for transferring bigger size files because Google restricts 25 MB, just 25 MB. After that, it will not allow. So these are all the websites you can use it. Next one. Okay, I'll end my talk with a particular slide. He was a master communicator, exemplary researcher, and he was with TAFR. He's a space scientist, very famous, very clear in his thoughts. He used to communicate science in 90s. There was a program called Turning Point in Doordarshan. I think many of you know about it. Who is that person? Can you identify? He's no more, but he was a really, really very good communicator of science. He's none other than Professor Yashpal. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.